This video is AP Statistics, and it's a continuation of Chapter 6, and it's all about conditional probability. So here we're going to do conditional probability. So basically it's P of B given that A has already occurred. So this translates into the probability event B occurs given event A has already happened. And so you can use the formula P of B given A equals P of A and B over P of A. And so let's just do an example with playing cards. So let's say the probability of a diamond given it's a red card. Well, we know that a red card can either be a heart or a diamond. So the probability that it's a diamond given it's a red card equals 1/2. Let's say probability of a red card given we have a diamond. Well, all diamonds are red. So the probability that's a red card given it's a diamond equals 1. So that's kind of just showing you the different conditions. And so what's really useful with conditional probability is if you're not sure if events are independent or dependent, you can always use this formula here to get you the probability. So let's just do another example here. So let's say probability of event A is 0.5 and the probability of event B is also 0.5. And this is dealing with probability and independence. So let's say we're trying to figure out if these events are dependent or independent of each other. And let's say the probability of them both happening is 0.25. Then we're going to pop in our formula here. So the probability of B given A equals probability of A and B divided by A. So this is going to equal 0.25 divided by A, which is 0.5, equals, so this is going to equal 0.5. So then we look here, so this is probability of B given A, and 0.5, that should equal P of B. And check here, P of B equals 0.5, check. So that when the probability of them both occurring is 0.25, this means that they're independent. But let's say the probability of them both happening is actually, we discover later that it's 0.3. So then what we would do is we would pop this in. So probability of A and B is 0.3 divided by the probability of A is 0.5. And this equals 0.6. And so if they're independent, then the probability of B given A is going to be the same thing as probability of B. And we find that 0.6 does not equal 0.5. So when the probability is 0.3, they're dependent. And so just kind of review for your probability tests and quizzes. Here's on the AP sheet, they give you formulas for probability. And these are some helpful ones just to know, and I'll kind of explain what they mean because it's all this probability statistics symbols. And so one thing to keep in mind is this symbol right here, these two, when it's like this, when it looks like a bridge or kind of looks like a little bit like an N, this means and this other one kind of looks like a U, that means or. So how I remember this is if you just kind of go like that, this looks like an N. So N is an and, so this is and you know that the other one is or. So what this means is the probability of A or B happening is the same thing as the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of them both happening. And this is what we discussed before, conditional probability. This just means and. And then when we get to these ones right here, this is your equation for an expected or mean value. So what you do here is you're basically being given, when you get something like this, you're going to be given x values and the probability of x values. And so let's say it's 1, 2, 3, probability is 0.2, 0.3, 0.5. So what you do here is you add the sum of these multiplied together. So sum of, this is sigma. So 1 times 0.2 plus 2 times 0.3 plus 3 times 0.5 equals 0.2 plus 0.6 plus 1.5 equals 2.3. So the expected number here would be 2.3, which makes sense because the probability is going to be in between 2 and 3. And so then when you do the variance, you're doing the same thing. You're having the sum of all the x's minus your mean squared times the probability. And then that's going to give you your variance, and so when you want the standard deviation, you'll just take the square root of that. So there, those are kind of your helpful formulas that you're going to need on a test and quiz, and eventually the AP test in May.